The Boulder City Sports Network is sponsored by Superior Builders, Inc. of Nevada, building spec residential and commercial with our investment partners for nearly 20 years. Contact Aaron at sbinevada.com for more information. And the I&I Music and Podcast Studio. If you're interested in using the studio, you can contact Dawn at iandimusic.studio. And EV Park, revenue-generating charging stations for apartments, hotels, offices, and short-term rentals. Contact sales at evpark.com to find out how your property can generate a new income stream.
And welcome to the BCSN Coaches Show Week 3 edition. I'm your host, Rich Shuman, live from the studio with head coach Bubba Mariani.
Hello.
We're streaming live on YouTube to our hometown fans here in Boulder City and Eagle supporters all across the globe. Tonight's more about not just about football, it's about community, tradition, and the pride of wearing blue and gold. Last week, our Eagles bounced back in a big way with a 33-0 shutout over Sunrise Mountain. The energy was electric, the student section was rocking, and the team showed what Boulder City football is all about. Tonight, we'll start by breaking down that win and also talk about what it truly matters, what it means to be a Boulder City athlete and student. And we'll also preview the challenge this week with Clark High School coming to town. So, Coach, welcome. Thank you for being here. And
Thank
let's
you.
get rolling.
All right. What do you got for
Ready
me?
to go? All right. So, I mean, let's just start with last week. Unbelievable. What a great win. How's it feel to win?
Great. You know, we had talked after the game. I think it had been like 350 days or something like that since our last win. Not that anybody was counting. Isaiah Render was counting. But no, it was great. You know, it was all of the things that we have kind of preached, the kids kind of did on the field, and when you do those things, wins happen.
Yeah. Let me go over some stats. So Boulder City wins the game 33-0. Asa Mariani, a freshman quarterback, 204 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. He looked amazing. Cartier, 74 yards receiving, 2 touchdowns. First win of 2025, snapped an 8-game skid, as you said, and largest margin of victory since a 43-0 win last year in 2024.
Yeah.
Great stats, both on the offense and defense.
Yeah, no, it was kind of one of those things where everything just came together. You know, we felt going in, Sunrise was kind of a good bounce back game. They were young. I think they're going to be good kind of into the future. But it was one of those things where we were the better team. And in the past, we have played down to that kind of level, you know, and we talked to the kids. We're like, we've got to go out and do our thing and execute the way we execute, and good things will happen. And it started with opening kickoff, you know, like everybody did their job, and it's amazing what happens when everybody does their job, you know?
Yeah, take me through that. I mean, that was awesome. What a way to start. Just everybody blocked. And
that's a kickoff that I have run forever. That was our kickoff when I was in high school. And, I was the return guy in high school, and I just loved it. And it was one of those where we've got guys crossing, and it's an easy block for guys, and the wedge, you just kind of set it up. And the big thing for it is having a return guy that is a little off kilter, that is just going to sprint through the wedge, and you've got to sprint. And everybody's going to kind of stop when they pick up a block, and you've got to takes a little bit of guesswork of like, this is the crease I'm taking, but you've got to fly through it. And you know, it's been successful everywhere I've ever run it, you know, and we got Jappy back there, and he's that little bit of off to kind of go and do it. And it's funny, like watching the film, the ball bounced over Kale and bounced right into Jappy. And as soon as he got it, I kind of like looked at the blocks, and it was perfect timing where we saw the 2 guys on the right and the 2 guys on the left were kind of making contact.
So you knew it.
We knew it right away.
Oh, that's good stuff. 204 yards passing is a lot of yards.
Yeah.
3 touchdowns. He was poised. He was looking good.
You know, and something that we're running a lot of stuff that he is very comfortable with. We've got a lot of receivers this year that are very good at the things that he's comfortable with. We're getting the ball out quick. We're getting the ball out on time. You know, it's an offense that he's run for 4 or 5 years now, been around it even more than that he understands the read and gets the ball out. You know, you don't have to have some huge, strong arm. He's going to get there with it.
Yep.
As a freshman, if you can make the right read and get the ball out quick and get it to an area where our guys can get it, we've got receivers that we can we can throw the ball 10 yards downfield and they're going to turn it into 20, 30-yard gains. You know what I mean? So, like, that's a great thing to have in terms of stats for a quarterback, where you got guys that just get the ball in their hands and they're going to do a ton of the work for you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, it was great.
It really seemed like that, like just 2 steps and throw the ball.
Yeah.
And, not multiple reads,
Mm-hmm.
just knew where he was going to go before it was snapped and got it there. And
Right. And a lot of that, like, we were able to work that and explain that during the week after, like, watching film and stuff like that. And I think we've got a little bit of that same kind of mentality this week, where we see where the holes are. He understands where the holes are. The receivers are understanding where it is. And it's just, you've got to be here. The ball's going to be on the way and we're good to go. You know?
Yeah, I mean, that touchdown to Gavin Cartier. I mean, speaking of receivers, Gavin, what a game. 2 touchdowns, 74 yards, and threw up 4 times on the sideline that I could see.
The 4 times on the sidelines were impressive. There was also like 10 times during school on Friday. Gavin, I got called into the nurse's office. I think it was like 5th period on Friday. Yeah. And our nurse, Kelly Reese, she's awesome. And I walked in and I was like, what's going on? And she just like kind of pointed to Gavin, and he's like bent over on one of the tables. And I was like, are you okay? And he's like, I have not made it through a class all day. Like, he was just ridiculous. Like, everything was just going through him. And I was like, listen, it's okay. Like, you'll be fine. I was like, if you don't play tonight, like, it's not a big deal. But inside I was like, God. So that was kind of during the day. Then we get there for, pregame stuff and walkthrough. 4:30, all the kids are there. We start doing walkthrough. Gavin's not there. And I was like, all right, he must be real sick. Like, I knew what was going on. Like, it's a scratch. We were done with walkthrough and kind of walking in the locker room, and he comes in and did not look any better. It's not like it was like a miraculous recovery. Like, he still looked terrible. And I was like, what are you doing here? And he's like, I think I can go. And I was like, all right, well, we're not going to use you unless we have to. And then, he wasn't in. He was in a little bit on the wishbone stuff because he could block and just kind of stand there. He's not really like running around much. But we got to the 3rd and long, and I was like, hey, this guy's let's take a shot. We're going to go up deep. Like, and he was like, I think I can do it. I think I could do it. I was like, all right, let's go. And first play, touchdown, he goes. As you saw, he threw up all over the sidelines. And I was like, all right, good. You good to go? He's like, maybe next quarter.
That's the play I wanted to go back to. I mean, that's just what a great throw. What a great catch.
Yeah.
Broke the tackle, scored the touchdown.
Yeah,
I mean,
and he's just a big physical receiver, and that is really where he is the best. And it's not saying that, like, he doesn't catch the ball well when he's wide open. He does, but everybody does that. But when it is a contested ball, he does a phenomenal job of using his body to kind of block out guys naturally. He's not a big, like, hand fight guy when the ball's up there. He really, it's like he's getting a rebound. He kind of like boxes a guy out in midair, which is also impressive. Like, he will jump and like adjust his body to kind of shield a guy from getting to it. And, that's just a mismatch. There's not going to be very many corners that are as big as him that can go up the way he does, that when we get that, we're going to take advantage of it.
Yep.
We've had 2 games and he scored 3 touchdowns already, and they've all kind of been the same. Hey, just get it up to him and you go make a play,
What else do you see on the offensive side? I mean, what else stood out to you?
I thought all of our receivers played. Our receivers made a huge jump from week 1 to week 2. They were running, this sounds mean, but like, I've explained it to them. They were running selfish routes week 1, where they were kind of going the easy way to get open, which covered other people. This week, they did not do that. They ran their routes, and they got themselves open, and they made some amazing plays after catching the ball. I think we only had 1 catch where it was like a catch and go down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that was impressive. The other thing, our running backs kind of stepped up. We had Nate Lewis had a great game. He tweaked his hamstring, so I don't think we're going to have him this week. But he looked great running the ball and is starting to understand where the holes are. And our offensive line is just growing each week and doing better and better and better. The Trey, who's like kind of our veteran on the line, like, he's looked great and he's getting guys in the right calls and stuff like that. Carson Singer, I think he's going to be a solid guy for us for 3 years, is blocking amazing. And then kind of the newcomer guys that are in there that, we're kind of fitting in pieces, but Gage Rhodes has played great. Alex Kessler is like stepped in where like he was kind of working in on the fringe for a while, and now he's our guy at guard. And Quentin Tucker is, again, they're playing great. And when you get all 11 guys kind of doing their job on most of the plays, we're going to be successful.
Yeah. So, I mean, you can't overlook the defense. So, when we held them to 0 points. So, would you say this was more like this game was led by the offense or the defense?
I will give the defense credit, or sorry, the offense credit
Yeah.
for taking the lead with this game, just because our defense did phenomenal. They no points, stuff
0
like that.
points, yeah.
But we couldn't get off the field sometimes. You know what I mean? We've talked about this forever. Like we don't need a complete shutdown 85 Bears defense. That would be great, but we need the bend and don't break. And that's what we did this weekend. There was a couple times where we gave up some plays on second and third and long that kind of extended the drives, which this is very, very nitpicky. It's not like I'm very happy with the way they played, but if we can get them off, get the offense off the field and get our guys back on the field a little bit sooner, that would be great. You know, and two of them in the second half it was punt special teams kind of mess ups. Like the defense did great, but then we didn't cover a guy and they faked the punt and got a first down. And then they kind of had a bad punt. We didn't get somebody out of the way. It touches our guy. They recover it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the defense did great and stopped them 3 different times on that same drive, which is very, very impressive. You know, but as an offensive-minded guy, I'm starting to get annoyed because I'm like, oh, offense isn't on the field. Like, this is boring.
They had a running back that was good.
Yeah, he was a big guy.
That kid was a big, hard guy to bring down.
Yeah, and that's something that was very good for us to see. And the kids being able to watch it on film, where we've talked, our tackling has greatly improved over the last, where it's been the last 2 years. And we're tackling better, we're gang tackling a lot better, but we are still going in too high. And we kind of saw that with him kind of towards the end of the game. We started to get a little bit lower. And that's what you need when you play those big teams, because you've got guys from Mawapa and Virgin that they're trucks back there, you know, and if you tackle them high, they're just going to, you might bring them down, but they're going to gain 3-4 more yards. And now the kids are starting to understand that if we go low, they stop moving.
That makes sense. On the defensive side, were there players that stood out to you that had exceptionally great games?
Yeah, I thought Cam Matthews had another great game. You know, he kind of stayed in the middle. I think he had like 9 or 10 solo tackles, but then was in on 5 or 6 other tackles, which is, it's huge, you know, and he did a really good job. He's getting pressure. He's making the reads. He's the guy that is stopping people in their tracks. You know, that's exactly what you need from a middle linebacker. He's got that, like, this is going to be a bold statement, but that like Mike Singletary, Ray Lewis kind of
swagger,
fire to him that like when he hits people, they go down, you know, and as we get into it, like more and more guys are kind of taking the lead with that, and it's awesome. But I thought Aiden Armstrong had a great game too. He had an interception early. Colton Lewis had an interception. That was awesome for that, because we really haven't had a lot of turnovers in the last year. You know what I mean? So getting 2 interceptions was huge. I mean, Aiden dropped 2 or 3 other interceptions, which would have been great. And then we had guys that stepped up that really haven't played defense for us that started this week and did their job phenomenally. In Cohen Burrows at one defensive end, and then Brandon Hobbs at the other. Like they played great games, and they don't have the stats because they didn't get to make a lot of tackles, but they disrupted plays so other people could.
Makes sense, yeah. Special teams. So you mentioned it a little bit earlier, but I mean, overall, what'd you see out of that?
Special teams, I mean, anytime you can score points on special teams is a bonus. You know what I mean? Like that's the free part. You know, my dad used to say all the time, and like it was like a huge thing growing up, that like special teams is a third of the game. Like you can't take those plays off. And being successful on the kickoff and kickoff return is huge, because it really does change the momentum of the game. And then, you know, our punt team, our punter was doing well. We did good on that. We had a good punt return that got called back. That always kind of happens to us, because we get all those defensive guys that now have to block, and they're a bunch of cheaters when they've got to block. But that was nice. Our field goal, James Peel kind of stepped in really late in the week and was like, I can kick field goals. And I was like, all right, well, let's try it. And like kind of all week, like he makes it by about this much, but it's consistent.
Well,
he
he's
does
a soccer player, I heard. I mean, he's played some soccer.
Okay,
I heard
that's
in his
definitely
past, so.
It's definitely the look that he's got. And you know, he did well. The one thing we've really got to work on, and we're going to address it tomorrow, is our field goal blocking has to get a little bit better. They had one guy that we kind of talked about that we were trying to stay away from, that he was just a man. You know, he was just bigger and stronger than anybody we got, and whoever he lined up against, he pretty much drove them back into the kicker, and that's how he blocked one, you know. But that's something that we haven't spent a lot of time on, but we will this week to get better.
How did the team's conditioning show up in the second half of this game?
I thought it was great. You know, it was very hot Friday night, and we are in better shape than we have ever been.
Seems like that.
And that's something that we just talked about, me and Coach Armstrong, yesterday. Like, watching us on film, you could tell that our summer stuff is paying off. That off-season stuff is paying off. Those guys that really committed to the weight room in November of last year, you can see a difference in them. The guys that didn't commit in November but really busted their butts in the summer, you're seeing a difference. And that's the difference between this year and last year. You know, we are explosive. We look faster. We look stronger. And that kind of mindset and doing those things with everybody kind of buying in, I think you're going to see us improve and just look more like football players on a week-to-week basis with the kids doing all that.
Yeah, it's exciting. How was it playing at home, student section? How was the crowd? How was were the kids?
Listen, it's great. I am really invested in what the experience is. You know what I mean? Like, I want people to come out and I want it to be fun. I will say that, like, you know, let you in on the secret. Once the game starts, I have no idea what happens.
Okay.
Like, I have to, it's funny.
Back,
like,
you're
I asked my wife after the game, like, how was the sound? Could you hear the speakers this year?
Yeah.
Like, how was the scoreboard? And she's like, what do you mean you didn't see the score? I was like, no, I don't even look at it. Like, and I was getting frustrated because the new scoreboard, all of the information is different than the old scoreboard. So, like, I could never find the down and distance. So I was very thrown off with that. And, but no, it was a great, I enjoy the loud kind of music going. And then when the music's not going, the band's going and getting all that. Like, it's weird, but like, I know when it's not there, but when it's there, I definitely tune it out and don't pay enough attention to it.
I don't know if people know how involved you are in every step of the process, from the scoreboard to the music to the gates to the. I mean, you're probably picking the food in the concession stand.
We definitely have meetings about that.
Okay, but it came off great. It was a rocking crowd, and it was a good show. What was your post game message to the kids in the locker room?
It was really congratulations. Like, we've done something we haven't done in a year, you know, and my challenge to all of them, and this is not some secret, and I will put it out there because I know who said it and I'm keeping track, but there's a lot of people that discounted us this year. There's a lot of kids that didn't come out for the team this year, and their reasoning to everybody was, the team's going to suck. Why am I going to play? Okay.
That's motivation.
And you know, there's people in the town that, like, well, you guys were so bad last year. What's it going to look like? This was our opportunity to go out, and this is who we are. This is the group that has come together as really a family. And screw you if you don't think we're going to do it. You know what I mean? And kind of challenge the kids to that on Thursday night, and they took some pride in it, and we came out and showed that, like, no, we're football players. You know, we're going to compete. We might not win every game this year, and very rarely do teams do that, but we're going to play football for 4 quarters, and people are going to remember the night they played us. You know what I mean? And that's what we did, and I let the kids know that I was proud of them for that. You know, there's people that we shocked a lot of people that thought they were going to come out and see, you know, just garbage football, and that's not who we are.
Good. How do you let the win? When does that kind of go away and it's turn the page for next week? I mean, how do you handle that?
I'm a guy that, like, after the game, we'll talk about it in the coach's office. This week, I actually went out with the coaches after the game. I don't normally do that. Normally it's home for my milk and chocolate chip cookies, and that's the end of it. But we went out. When you win once a year, you gotta go out and celebrate
it up.
But it's a lot of, like, back patting and high fives and stuff like that on Friday, and then kind of on Saturday you watch the film, and for me, like, I'll watch it one time kind of as a fan, because there's so much stuff that I don't see Friday night. You know what I mean? Like, you get so in the zone that, like I know Gavin scored a touchdown on that play, but like I wasn't watching Gavin. I was watching the lineman. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like I don't see a lot of it while it's happened. So I'll watch it one time literally as a fan, and then the next time we watch it, it's critical and this is the things we did wrong. And then usually by then we get the film for the next team and then we're done.
Yeah.
We're on to the next week.
Okay. All right, good. Well, congrats on the win.
Thank you.
Great way to start the home season. I'm going to switch gears here for a minute, if you don't mind. Some people sometimes forget that our players are not just players; they're not just athletes; they're students.
Right.
And I just wanted to talk about that for a little bit. You had a coaches meeting with the parents, and I was there, and you spoke about this, and so I wanted to kind of bring this up for everybody. I mean, they're students, they're teammates, they're role models. You know, can we talk a little bit about what it means to be a student athlete at Boulder City High School?
And I think, and I'm going to kind of start even outside of the school before we work into that. You know, one of the things that is so special here in Boulder City is just the town in general, that when you play football, everybody kind of knows who you are. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like you can't go very many places where people don't know, oh, you're part of the football team. And the kids are very proud and they wear their Boulder City football stuff all over the place. So, you know, people know.
Yeah.
And it's a huge thing for me for the kids to be, you know, if you're going to play football, people know you've got to be a leader in the community, in the school, in everything you do. You know, it's the kids kind of saw this summer, they got into a little bit of trouble.
I was going to say the coffee cup.
At the coffee cup.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's funny, like those kids, they were being kids. There was nothing that was, they didn't do anything horrible. There was nothing that like the cops needed to be called.
Overdid it with the
Overdid what they were doing.
Yeah.
And, you know, we kind of explained to them, I go, you guys probably weren't even out of there before I got a text message about what you guys did, you know, and like that kind of happens all over the place. And they understand. And I think they've kind of turned that page, and the community stuff I feel like is a little bit harder to kind of be that leader, because you kind of need to be on all the time. But when you're doing that, then it does translate to being a leader within the school, you know, and that is really that's the main part of being a Boulder City football player. You know, it's that leadership, mentorship, you know, being the guy that people can follow all the time, and especially in the school. You know, everybody, we've got 60-something football players. You know, it's 1 out of 10 kids in the school is a football player.
Yeah.
And we want that 1 in 10 to go above and beyond, you know, and we really are emphasizing, and we've always been on it with the grades, where like you've got to keep your grades up in order to play. Like we'll let the kids know, like if they're getting a D, like you're not playing. But really want them to go in and be successful in class, because no matter what you're doing with football, there's not many guys that we're going to have come through here that are going to go on to the next level. Some of them can, but the biggest thing is getting the education and doing the right thing in school, because that's going to take you farther than your football is for 99.9% of the people in the world. You know what I mean? And, you know, our emphasis, where I didn't know this was the thing until last year, they have a academic state champion for each school, for each sport. And our girls basketball team won it last year. I think the girls flag football team finished second, where they take, you know, the total GPA of all your players and kind of average it together with the other schools in 3A and 4A and stuff like that. And they give a champion. And it was like, that's something that like we need to set that goal too. You know what I mean? We have such a great school that, you know, the teachers are going to work with you. The teachers, you know, with the way they do things now, you've got multiple chances to take tests, and, you know, all these things. Like, there's no reason that can't be us. You know what I mean? And like really pushing, and it's something we talk about. And, you know, this week is our first grade check, where we haven't talked about it a bunch the last 3 weeks, because also in school, like, we're not really doing anything yet, you know, but like now is like that crunch time where it's not acceptable to be letting the guys down if you're not doing the stuff in the classroom. You know,
and you're there every day. I mean, you're a teacher in the school, so you're talking to the other teachers. You know what they're doing.
And I've got a couple football players in some of my classes this year, so like it's kind of funny when I like walked in the first day and they're like, "What are you doing in here?" And I was like, "I'm here. Let's see what you can do."
That's right. You know, what lessons from football carry into the classroom?
I think it's just a matter of like the hard work, and kind of, you've got like one of the things we've talked about with the kids, like you've got to show up every day, even when you don't feel good. You need to be at practice so you're not missing anything. I think that goes a long way with like the classroom stuff too. It's very easy to, when something is boring and not really your cup of tea, to can I use the restroom, and then be gone to the bathroom for 20 minutes, and then you miss a whole thing. And, I can help so-and-so with a project and not have to be in class. Like, those are the things that, like, you've got to be there. You've got to stay on top of your stuff. And, we talk about now with, like, the kids getting film and everything, like, you've got to study that just the same way you need to study everything. You know what I mean? Like, everything is easier when you kind of stay on top of it. As soon as you kind of let stuff start slacking, it starts to snowball, and then the next thing you know, you've got 30 missing assignments and there's no hope.
Yeah. So what are the academic standards? How does that work?
For us as a team, there's like the NIAA, CCSD kind of rules for eligibility. Our thing is, if you've got a D, you can't play.
Okay.
It means you didn't do what you needed to do.
Okay, and that might not be the standard for CCSD
it's like
or
Fs and stuff like that. So like we go a little bit higher with it, but I will give the kids, like, this Friday we get, I guess it'll be Monday, I think we get the grade check, and if anybody has a D, you have till Wednesday to show me that it's not a D. Because there's no reason for it.
No reason. Yeah. Yep. You were right about students being leaders in the town, but even after they finish playing football, people remember the kids that play football here for years to come, generations
100%.
To come.
Yeah, and it's being able to do that successfully as a high school kid and manage the school portion of it, manage the sports portion of it, manage the community portion, and kind of be that example and a leader. Like, the kids that do that, they end up being very successful in life. Yep. You know what I mean? Like, you got people looking at you and you doing the right thing. It leads to success, and that's what I want for the kids. I want every kid that I've coached over the last 3 years here, I would love to run into them in 10, 15 years and they're doing well in their career. Like, I don't want to see guys that burned out and, never amounted to anything. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want that for any of them. Sure. I want them all to be, very happy with their careers, successful with family and kids and all that stuff. And those little kind of messages of, like, doing the right thing, like, those go a long way. And you're going to use those when you're a parent, when you're in a career and things like that. That's what I hope sticks with them more than the X's and O's, Yeah,
that's great. Okay, let's turn our attention to the Clark Chargers.
Okay.
Their head coach is in his 4th season. Their record last year was 5-6. They're 0-1 this year. Lost to Canyon Springs. Balanced offense, experienced roster. What are you seeing on film when you look at this team?
I think they're very comparable to us.
Yeah.
All right, and it's early in the year, so you don't really know. But I think this is our first, like, even test, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
We went up and played Fallon, and we knew Fallon was, like, they're going to be way better than us. Like, we know that. Playing Sunrise, we knew we were way better than Sunrise, so we were able to do that. This is kind of our first chance to see a team that, like, we really need to do our job, and we really need to execute, and if we do, we can win. I've told the kids all week that I think we are the better team, but I think they have better athletes. And, that it sounds whatever, but if we can do our job, their athletes won't make a difference.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, you can negate the athleticism with doing your job.
Yeah, and I think this is going to be a good game.
Yeah.
This isn't going to be, I don't think it'll be lopsided one way or the other.
Size-wise, how do you match up?
It's kind of hard to tell. Watching them on film, they look like they are tall and slender. They've got some guys that, we didn't see on film, but they're supposedly have on the team that are, like, absolute monsters, but we didn't really see them on film. There's a lot of things that they do that we want to take advantage of. There's a lot of things that they do that kind of make me nervous because they do it well. You know what I mean? So it really is just a matter of, again, doing our job.
Like what? What makes you nervous?
Their speed.
What do they do well? Yeah.
Their speed.
Yeah.
I think they've got guys that fly around that
On offense or defense or
both sides of
Yeah,
the ball.
Okay.
You know, they've got number one is ridiculously fast. They played Canyon Springs, and Canyon Springs is traditionally a very fast team. And when their guy looked definitely like the fastest guy on the field, makes me clinch a little bit.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
so
Number one, is that their quarterback? or
no,
is that
he's
their-
like a wide receiver,
Okay.
running back. From what I hear, he's a Division I commit.
Okay.
I don't know, but he's a very good athlete, you know. And they try to get him the ball a lot of different ways. Sometimes he's in the backfield, sometimes he's a receiver. So our defense has their work cut out for him. You know, I think that's one of the things we've talked about is if we can stop him, make somebody else beat us, then we've won. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think we've got a good plan for it. It's just, again, we've got to go execute and do our job.
Yeah.
You know, because if we are not in the right place, he will make us pay.
Yeah.
You know, I told the kids, I go, I don't think we have anybody, not only on our team but in our town, that will catch that kid if we get him out in the open.
Okay. So yeah, limit their big playability.
Yeah,
I mean,
100%.
take that guy away. Yeah. Do you have a plan for? I mean, what's your plan for attacking the defense? I mean,
For us, they run a defense very similar to what we saw last week. So we're really not changing a bunch. We're kind of adding a few things to kind of attack a little bit the middle of the defense in terms of throwing the ball. But we're going to try and go off tackle a little bit. It seems like their ends aren't their best defensive players, so that's kind of who we're planning on picking on a little bit. And yeah, and we'll go from there. I think our line is going to do a good job. I think with our skill guys, the way we run, we've been running pretty hard. We're going to be hard for them to take down, but we've got to play that way. You know, if we're running hard, I think they might bounce off of us a little bit, and we'll be able to get a couple extra yards. But again, it's our big thing with the kids is like we're shooting for 4 yards of play. You know, that's all. It's not like we've got to score a touchdown on every play. It's move the ball. We want to keep moving the chains, and we did that last week, and the kids kind of understood what we were talking about a little bit. And yeah, we're just going to carry that over into this week.
good. Well, I mean, beyond the score, what would be a successful Friday night? Just
I think us just executing, you know,
Yeah.
it really is. It comes down to that, like doing what we're supposed to do and playing hard.
Yeah.
You know, those are the biggest kind of plus minus
Sure.
stuff for us. You know, when we do that, we've got a chance in any game,
Yeah.
you know, and I think that's kind of where we're at. And if we can continue with the same energy and mindset that we've had on the field with like everybody being like ridiculously uplifting,
Yeah.
like that's going to go a
well,
long
that was
way.
my next question. Like, how are they prepared mentally? These kids?
I think so.
Yeah.
It's a little tough and we'll get on them a little bit tomorrow, but we kind of talked to them about it today, is, you know, getting over that and finally getting a win. There's a little bit of a tendency to kind of like exhale and relax a little bit, but this team's better than what we played, you know? So we had a screwy day yesterday because of the lightning, so we weren't out there a bunch. Today we were okay with like our offensive stuff, but tomorrow we'll get offense and defense again and really get it locked into where we're at. The one thing I will say is the kids understand what they're doing on offense, and we've just got to take it a little more serious tomorrow, and I think we'll be ready to go.
Yeah. Physically, everybody okay? How
We got
injury report?
still no kicker.
Yeah.
Last time I saw him was at Fallon. I haven't seen him since then. We might have left him in Fallon. I quite frankly don't know. Then Nate Lewis is out this week. Pulled his hamstring a little bit. He really wants to play. He thinks he can play.
gonna
But
suit up?
keeping him out this week, and you know, going into the bye week next week, that gives him, you know, almost 3 full weeks to recover, because we need him for the long haul. We don't need him against Clark. We need him against our conference stuff where it matters. He was not happy about that.
And do you suit him up and just
I
have the other team think that he's going to be maybe playing, but he's not?
I don't know if we'll. I don't know if we'll even go that far, because we'll forget and we'll put him in. And then good news is we got Cody Ayton back.
Oh,
So
good.
he was out last week with his hand and stuff like that, but he got officially cleared today, so he's back, which helps the front of our defense tremendously.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
And anything you want to say to the home crowd that'll be coming out and supporting?
bring more friends.
Yeah.
You weren't all out there. We won. Come on. You know, like
Yeah.
if you were there last week, you got to come again
There's
because
a
of the
couple empty
superstition
seats.
stuff.
Yeah.
But, you know, we need to go from there. So,
Okay. All right, great. Game time is 6 o'clock. Is it correct? Or is it 7?
should be 7. I don't know.
I read somewhere 6, but we'll have to confirm that.
I'm pretty sure it's 7 because we're playing at home.
Yeah.
If we were to go to Clark, it would be 6 because it's like, I honestly,
yeah, we'll double check that.
I don't know. I haven't gotten that far. I haven't looked at it yet.
Either way, don't get there any later than 6.
Yes,
I would say.
yeah.
That way you're at least on time. Okay, thanks for that part. We're gonna wrap it up with kind of a fun section here, if you don't mind. We're
Okay.
gonna do a little "Would you rather."
Okay. All right.
All
I'm
right.
all for it.
Let's see if you like these.
Do I need an explanation or I just say
You can expound.
1 or left?
Yeah,
Okay,
you can
all right.
expand on any of your answers here. And I don't know how good these questions are going to be. So, would you rather coach in a snowstorm in Fallon or a dust storm in Boulder City?
Snowstorm in Fallon. No doubt about
Okay.
it. Yeah, well, like
just fun to play
being
in the
from
snow.
Chicago,
Yeah.
it's fun. Like
Yeah.
I like the cold. Like I hate the dust means wind and that means hot and
Yeah.
like that sounds miserable.
Okay.
I would rather 3 feet of snow in Fallon.
Yeah. Do you think we'll have a game this year with any kind of precipitation?
I would love it. I have, in the years I've been out here, I have coached, we were just talking about this the other day, I've coached 1 rain game.
Yeah.
Just 1.
Mm-hmm.
And it was miserable. It was at Rancho and it rained all day. But not even like the hard rain. It was like the annoying mist that like, it was terrible. But I would love.
But sometimes
more
they
of those.
cancel it because of lightning. So
Right.
if there's
Yeah,
rain
yeah.
with no lightning, you play. If
Yeah.
there's lightning, they cancel it. Yeah. Okay. All right. Would you rather ride the bus for 6 hours with TikTok songs playing or repeat Churchill's first quarter?
6 hours with TikTok. 100%.
Didn't like that first quarter up in Churchill.
No, not at all. 2 through 4?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay, good. Would you rather wear pads for a series at a linebacker or a quarterback?
Linebacker.
Okay.
Yeah, I would never do the quarterback thing.
right.
Not for me.
I'm going to go hit somebody. Would you rather have your headset die or your play sheet get soaked with Gatorade during the game?
I would say headset die because I wear a headset and as soon as the game starts, I hold it in my hand. I never put it on.
Okay.
The coaches always get mad at me. So much so that last week I officially went without a headset. Like the other coaches use the headset because I constantly take it off.
Okay, good.
So headset for sure.
Would you rather wear a rival jersey for a day or listen to the Clark fight song all week?
So a Mawapa jersey.
Yeah, let's say that.
Oh,
To school.
I will learn Clark's fight song and I will do all sorts of dances. I will
Not
learn
wearing
to,
that jersey.
I will learn to play the trumpet before I put on anything from Mawapa.
Okay, I see a bet coming up in your future. Would you rather relive high school two-a-days or run gassers now? Whatever those are.
I would do high school 2-a-days all over again.
Okay.
Those were the best days. And like
Okay.
we talked about it with the kids this year because we kind of did a little bit of a hell week and stuff like that, and explained to them that like this is the stuff that you will remember this and what you're going through with your friends more so than any other stuff. One of the big things which it was some high drama because we've decided that we're not going to do the mom and dad kiss and greet after the game anymore. Like we talked after the game, we went into the locker room. And usually when we would do it, like everybody would go talk to their moms, kids would kind of sprinkle into the locker room here and there. There'd be kids that were in and out of the locker room before other kids got in. This year we are meeting as a team. We're heading right back into the locker room. And the dance party that took place in the locker room after the win is something we haven't done here ever. But like, I know the kids will remember that sort of stuff.
For
like
sure.
that, those are the things that you're going to remember and you're going to, kind of replay in your mind and miss in literally for those seniors next year. You're going to start missing it. You know what I mean? That like, yeah. So I would pick the 2-a-days any
Can we
day.
get some video on that dance party? Is it
There
all
is video
undercover?
on TikTok,
Okay.
and it is not the most appropriate thing
Okay.
ever.
Let's see. Would you rather have a perfect kicker or a perfect punter?
I would go perfect kicker because you're always getting points.
Mm-hmm.
That would be easy. And I have to say we've got a very good punter this year. But I've never really played with a really good punter. So I'm used to not good punter. Like having a good punter, it's kind of weird. Like we're like, all right, go out there and punt, and then he kicks it, and every time I'm like, wow, that was a really good kick.
Okay, last one. Would you rather have a professional ESPN style analyst hosting this coach's show, or me?
Are we talking like Aaron Andrews?
Yeah,
kind
like,
of.
like you name it.
I will say, other than Aaron Andrews, it's Rich Shuman for sure.
Thank you. Good answer. Good answer. Anything to close?
No. One thing. The freshman slash JV team plays tomorrow at 4:00. They've been busting their butts the last couple weeks. Haven't played in 2 weeks, and they've gotten guys cleared and stuff like that. That I think they're going to be very exciting to come out and watch them play. They play Clark tomorrow, so it's kind of a preview for what we'll see Friday night, I hope.
Big football weekend. We have Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Yeah.
We have Thursday JV, we have Friday varsity, and we have Saturday Pee-wees.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. It's officially going.
It's a big weekend.
And I think the college football
and
starts
college
or
football
something too.
something maybe.
That's for somebody, but I only care about the
That's
kids
right.
that reside in Boulder City.
Absolutely.
That's my world.
Yep. Well, thanks, Coach. Eagle Nation Friday night. Chargers come to town. Please come out, support the team, pack the stands, be loud, make it a night Clark won't forget. Big thanks to our sponsors. Big thanks to Don Rodriguez, BCSN, this studio that we're in, the guy behind the scenes back here setting this all up for us, giving us this time and doing that. Just really want to thank Don Rodriguez for that and for doing this every week. Next week we'll have Coach James Krakalici on to talk about the Bears program. And until then, we'll see you all Friday night.
Sounds good.
All right. Thanks.
The Boulder City Sports Network is sponsored by Superior Builders, Inc. of Nevada, building spec residential and commercial with our investment partners for nearly 20 years. Contact Aaron at sbinevada.com for more information. And the I&I Music and Podcast Studio. If you're interested in using the studio, you can contact Dawn at iandimusic.studio. And EV Park, revenue-generating charging stations for apartments, hotels, offices, and short-term rentals. Contact sales at evpark.com to find out how your property can generate a new income stream. Hey there, I'm Don Rodriguez, founder of the Boulder City Sports Network, and I've got some bad news. We were unable to secure permission from the Clark County School District to air the Boulder City High School football games like we did last season. This isn't any fault of the school. As a matter of fact, I want to thank Coach Moore and Mr. Steckelberg and Ms. Wagner for all their efforts in trying to make it happen. The thing is, with Clark County School District, things are set up to happen within the system, and outside of the system, not too much happens. But I'm hopeful that in the future, the broadcast will be back. For now, we continue to produce the Coaches Show here from the I&I Music Studio, and here is your host, Rich Shuman.